People, what's poppin'? The Ibo Blondie is bringing PopKasa back to your screens with that perfect blend of entertainment and pop culture. Now, this week has had a whole lot of emotions flying around, as it was, like I mentioned last week, the most crucial point of our lives as citizens of Nigeria. Now, today we're going in on the post-election activities, and it is still the most important story on our timelines this week. Now, on the edge, we're veering off a little bit of the election shenanigans and checking out some Chris Brown stage action. My guests and I are ready, so let's dive right in. Welcome to PopKasa. Welcome back to the show, my people. Now, from the pre-election tensions all through the collation process and the now fate of the Nigerian people, the internet has not taken a break from Nigerians. Now, my eyes personally have not seen as much screen light ever as it did in the past few days. I'm ready to get into the conversation, but as you know, I'm not doing this alone. I've got an amazing Nigerian actor, Taye Arimoro, ready to dig right in with us. Did I get your name right?
You did.
I did.
It's pretty surprising that you did.
I ate it right.
You ate it.
Exactly. And of course, we have the ever-stunning dark-skinned female, Amiola Aguda, giving us that whole gorgeous chocolatey vibe. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I love the energy you're bringing.
Thank you.
Somehow, my guests always know how to, match their outfit. Last week, it was gray and black. This week, they're doing gray and black, or gray and then gray, and I kind of like it. It's looking really nice. Now,
I know.
Always in sync, always in sync. Let's dive right into the hot topic of the moment, post-election shenanigans. Now, from Gen Zs being surprised at themselves as to how invested and interested they were in the electoral process, to Nigerian celebrities calling out and standing up to the thugs at their polling units, electorates cooking for INEC officials, and some taking the spiritual route at their units to ensure their votes were cast, to Nollywood actors dragging themselves like I passed my neighbor generator. This week has really been a roller coaster. Now, it's no doubt that the Nigerian people knew exactly what they wanted for the country in the coming years, and they came out in full force to make sure their voices were heard. Now, we saw some feedback from polling units where our Nigerian celebrities were stationed to cast their votes, including Falz, the bad guy whose phone was stolen during an attack, Chioma Akpota, who was attacked in the chaos at her unit, Mr. Macaroni, Alex Unusual, Peter P. Square, Big Brother's Erica, and more who stayed till the next day, not retreating, not surrendering. Now, Mr. Macaroni made a tweet, which would bring me to my first questions for my guests. And the tweet reads, "The people did their part. Nigerians came out in their numbers. Some could not vote. We saw violence and intimidation at polling units, lack of inadequate INEC personnel and equipment at INEC Nigeria. The least you can do now is to let the people's vote count. No rigging." Now, in your opinions, my dear guests, and your personal experiences from the election, because I believe you did vote, right? Mm-hmm. You did. We were all very, very active, and I love that. Would you say that Mr. Macaroni's tweet was valid to the latter? Would you say that our voices were actually heard during this election? Let me start with you, Taye.
I was
going to say ladies first, yeah? But this lady, she holds the ground in this place. She's the owner of this place. So let me have you first.
Okay, I'm going to speak from my own experience. I think, first of all, his point is very, very valid. The least you could do. See, we're at a pivotal point in our country where every single person, especially the youths, want things to be done the right way. Yes. We don't live, it doesn't seem normal the way we live, the way we operate as a country. Every system is all over the place, right? Yes. From my own experience at the elections, right? After the result was collated and everything, for some reason the police came on to take the ballot paper away. Wow. I personally caused trouble because it was like, there's no way. There's no way. I know what, what's funny is I had some of my gym buddies there as well. So I was like, you know what? Let's just mess it up. No one is living here. No one is living here. We set chairs in front of the police van, as God would have it. The exhaust, what they call it, the radiator, blew out. Just while they were spraying tear gas and whatnot.
The Lord was
so on our side.
Okay, I want to hear from you now. Do you feel like his point was valid, and do you feel like our voices were heard based on your experience?
I think that his point is very valid, definitely. Like, we did come out. I went to vote in 2019 as well, and the number of people that I met when I went to vote on Saturday was way more than I've seen like the previous time. So definitely people came out in their numbers trying to fight for what they really want. But would I say that our voices were eventually heard? I don't think so. Some people said they couldn't buy the votes, so they bought the body.
Okay, so they bought the body. We will definitely come right back to these topics, what we're talking about right now. Right after the break, keep it locked.
News Central TV, Africa's #1 storyteller, has come with the best of both worlds. With a combination of news app and live TV, we ensure that you keep track of the latest headlines, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from professional journalists from around the continent. Download the News Central TV app on Android and iOS and get started today. Don't forget to follow us on News Central's social media platforms. News Central, Africa First.
Welcome back to the show, my people. We're still on about the post-election shenanigans. I want to dive right into Frank Donga's tweet, which brings us to that relationship part of, the conversation. Now, he tweeted that many relationships will no longer be the same because of this election. He also added that there will be blockings and unfollowings online and offline. Chris Clown also confirmed that he had unfollowed about 12 public figures because they chose their selfish reasons over the people's suffering. Now, would you say these reactions are too extreme? I want to start with Amiola on this one. Would you say these reactions are too extreme?
I mean, I don't know about how extreme you would call it, but I think that to an extent to be extreme. Like, your relationship trumps like your beliefs, your personal beliefs, I feel like your personal relationships should trump all of those things, right? But I cannot wrap my head around people who genuinely know that what they were doing is selfish and still went ahead. Obviously, I'll look at you differently. Doesn't mean like we're no longer going to be friends, but I'm going to have a different understanding of your person and like what you believe in generally. It might change the relationship a little bit, yes, but I don't think that it warrants like blocking or you saying, I'm going to leave you as my husband or my wife, because some people said they were leaving their partners because they supported different candidates. So yeah, I think it's maybe a little bit extreme, but I mean, I understand the reasoning.
Taye is looking at you like he doesn't think it's extreme, like he thinks it's warranted.
No.
Okay, so let me hear from you now.
I sort of agree with her. I think it's too extreme now. Come on. These are people that you've known before the elections came, and you're still going to probably be in their lives after the election.
After the elections.
You can't just sever a relationship because they supported a particular candidate. Now, for me personally, I don't think that it's right. Although the people who can see how the elections have turned out and are still making a point, right? Those people, on the other hand,
you're like,
for me, it's like, you know what? Just because of the mentality you have, come on, man, we can't. I don't think we can continue.
Like we just can't be around each other. Okay, now before we get into the third question, I need us to take a look at this video.
President Buhari, you have given this thing to event planners. What are they doing? If you carry this election, give event planners, Abuja event planners, Lagos event planners, Port Harcourt event planners, Delta, they will join hands. They don't even need 300 billion. They need 100 billion only. They will plan this event. Food go surplus. INEC chairman go carry food, go house as souvenir. Everybody will vote, go even carry souvenir, go house. There'll be enough security. In fact, they will rent tents for people. Come rain, come shine. They will vote very well. Security tight.
Now, I know we're really wilding out here in this country, but will event planners really have done a better job, Amiola?
I think so, to be honest, because the way that people plan events and like you are wondering, where am I? Why am I so comfortable? Why is everything flowing?
He's working in order.
I think so. I think he has a very valid point.
Valid point. Yes. Taye, let me hear from you.
Very, very valid point, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like the organization, when you go to events and you see the way things are organized, right? They're way better than how the elections was a mess.
It was a mess.
It was a mess. It was an absolute
weddings
mess.
where it was raining and I was still comfortable.
Yes.
That election.
Even without the rain, it was
everything was just the other way. We're all going to the right, the election was going to the left. Well, like we're in different direction.
Even like the processes that were happening, like after verification, then you have to. It wasn't organized.
Well, let's start with the officials and how. You know how you go to other like proper organized systems, right? And they tell you the processes. Like, okay, you're going to do this, and you're going to do that, and you're going to do this, and you're going to do that. I was expecting it, and the person was just like, oh, you know what? You're going to come, put your thumbprint like this. You go do it like this. If you know understand this, make person speak Yoruba.
If you don't want everything should go.
And then I'm like, okay, and people were making so many mistakes, you know, even while the votes were being counted, I was seeing like people
Just doing
explain to
anything.
people, you know.
Meanwhile, at an event, you see the charts. You're supposed to see
Yes.
You're sitting here,
Send
you're
it,
arranged
you'll
here,
find your name
your
in
table
front-
number
yes.
and all of that.
So
Right.
definitely, guys,
That's
right.
right.
Okay, now these past few days was a make or break moment for us as Nigerians, and I can say we did come out stronger. Now we're still on the journey and we are keeping our fingers crossed for the best. Now, although some Nigerians were having hopes of locking down a body, in their words, for a first lady, and some were calling out to the Avengers and Spider-Man to come and rescue or sending, them Instagram DMs to actually come save their country, while some others never expected in their Gen Z life they would ever be flipping through news channels on ending. It's quite a breath of fresh air to see young Nigerians zealous about taking charge of their future. Now, we'll go on a quick break right now, and once we're back, we're going right into the dramas and drying that followed for some Nigerian celebrities. Keep it locked.
News Central TV, Africa's #1 storyteller, has come with the best of both worlds. With a combination of news app and live TV, we ensure that you keep track of the latest headlines, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from professional journalists from around the continent. Download the News Central TV app on Android and iOS and get started today. Don't forget to follow us on News Central's social media platforms. News Central, Africa First.
Welcome back to the show, neighbour. Now, we've been on about the 2023 post-election happenings, and we cannot get past these conversations without visiting the Face Me, I Slap You compounds that had all the drama. Now, we had several people bashing Amiola Aguda for selling swearing in Kampala, Taye Abraham's husband Loki saying, curse my wife, but leave me and my kids out of it, and Dunia Ade calling out her colleagues for accepting 90,000 to campaign for a political party, and our colleagues actually did come back dirty on her. But let us start with Chioma Akpotha and Georgina Onoha calling her out for reacting loudly on social media and being a selective activist and hero. Now, a little backstory. During the last elections, another Nigerian actress, Mona Lisa Chinda, posted videos of her people being killed in her hometown, Rivers State, and was calling on security agents to intervene. And Georgina also shared the videos and to help increase the awareness. Now, while she did that, as she said, Chioma felt the need to tell her to stop, that she had a brand to protect and she should say the elections were peaceful, and it went downhill from there. Now, would you say that Chioma's activism is not as genuine as presented? I mean, we saw what happened to her, the video where she was really calling out, like telling everybody how their whole polling unit was shattered and a woman attacked her and all of that. Would you say her activism is not genuine? It's just maybe when it favors her or when she's now in the person in the wrong position at this point? Let me start with the beautiful lady here.
I cannot understand you asking someone to keep quiet because it affects their brand. Like, to not speak on something that should be spoken about.
That's serious.
It doesn't make sense because I realized that Chioma did go live when she was being and she was shouting, obviously that's not her brand, but she was being vocal about what she was going through. So I don't understand how you can then turn and tell somebody else to be quiet about another person's suffering because it doesn't directly affect her, or it doesn't make sense. So I think that's selective, what's the word?
Activism, social
yes.
activism.
Definitely selective, because you cannot pick and choose when you should be vocal and then tell people to keep quiet when it doesn't, it doesn't look good.
It doesn't work. Okay, Taye, let me hear from you. Do you feel like it was, I wouldn't say fake, but maybe a package presentation, because right now it's now your turn and you have to put up a front.
So I did not know about this story until I heard you say it, talk about it. But I think that this period has been so emotional for a lot of people, and so everyone is reacting based on how they feel and how certain things affect them.
Yes.
I think it's also valid, whatever it is that, however it is that you can deal this period.
Yes.
It's okay, it's not okay to tell people that, because of this, how this is going to affect your brand, don't do this. Because it's mine at the end of the day. It's like telling me how to live my life.
Yes.
Don't cross that line. But at the end of the day, it's also valid, express yourself however you want to express on social media. If she cared so much about her, maybe she would have called her or sent her a DM and said, you know what, I care about your brand. Maybe don't do
this. Yeah, she actually did send her a DM. So basically, the elections before this one, the last elections, the things were happening and she was sharing, and Chioma sent her a DM telling her don't say the election was peaceful. Don't talk about the election like that. So now
That's
during
what-
this
now-
present election,
This is your turn.
this is happening to her, and she's like, wailing
life,
online.
Life does come at us so quick, doesn't it?
Like so quickly, like you didn't even expect it to be that quick. Okay, now in all the drama that happened, Burna Boy did seem to not miss the stray bullets. His fans were coming at him, media personalities, calling him out for making gains out of, the social activist brand through his music but showing no effort or allegiance to Nigerians through the electoral process. Now, however, he didn't understand why it was such a big deal to some Nigerians that he wasn't being vocal about the elections. First off, do you think it's a big deal that he wasn't being vocal about it?
I think it's a very big deal that Burna decided to come out and say this and say that he didn't like any of the candidates. Like, he could have just kept quiet completely and not uttered a word about it at all. Like, I think that Burna Boy chooses the wrong things to say when he decides to speak out. And even if you didn't support any of the there was more than 3 candidates running for the election. There was a female. Even if you said you wanted to support women empowerment, and
only
you're going to
Princess Chi-Chi. I saw Princess Chi-Chi.
I mean, you could have picked something. All of them were not bad. You could have picked something that you liked in at least one candidate and vote for them. For you to then come out and say that you hope that you don't know, Burna should stop it.
It should stop it. Just stop it. Amiola is angry, please. Taye, let me hear from you. Do you think it's a big deal that, because he doesn't feel like it's a big deal that he's not talking about it, even though it's a brand he's built over the years with his music. Do you think it's a big deal?
I thought he's made it a big deal by doing this.
Okay.
Like I said, emotions are high, so everyone is reacting based on how people are single outing like things and making it affect them and reacting to that. Now, let me give you an example. My mom, for example, refused to vote. Right? It made me upset at first, hearing like she's not going to vote. And I asked her why, and she said she doesn't feel like it's going to count. Right? I was upset at first, but then after the elections, I sort of understood. There's so many people like my mom. And there's so many people who would not vote for different reasons. Right?
Yes.
Burna Boy happens to be one of them. And I think his point is valid. Now, people are single out in him because he's a celebrity, which is like totally normal. He's in the public eye and all of that, right? And also because he's used our problems to make his music.
Exactly.
Right? Well, at the end of the day, he owns the right to choose to do whatever he wants to do. At the end of the day, like if I decide I'm not voting. Maybe he has gone through all how many of them, 18 or 13 candidates, and said, oh, you know what, I don't want anyone. Maybe he has also been.
Because he even said in this tweet, he said, I possibly contributed more than all 3 candidates combined. So he's not even looking outside the 3 of them. And then he now goes on to say that there are only about 7 songs that have these topics, and they didn't make him any money at all.
So he actually
at that point,
narrowed it down to him not making money.
And stone Burna in the forehead.
well, and like I said, he made it a big deal by responding to it. Maybe if he just kept quiet and didn't say anything. Did Wizkid say anything about it?
No,
he didn't say anything. Did Wizkid vote?
I don't think
he
so.
wasn't. Burna has built that brand. That is
exactly. It's like another fella.
Exactly.
He's another human being. He's another human being who didn't vote.
Okay.
Just like every other person who didn't vote.
Okay, now let's see. Toke Makinwa was dragged this morning for her views on election bullying. I mean, everybody had been. I think there was a period she even came out and she was like, she's not going to allow anybody go scot-free. If you come for her, she's coming for you, and she's giving it back to back. Now, you guys, when it comes to election bullying, people that bully, she said, people that bully online, and then, I wouldn't liken them to the thugs on the street that come out and bully.
I don't think that's the same thing. First of all, because obviously we're more educated. When people sort of bully you online, it's coming from facts. Like you can see this person has done this and done that and done this. How can you still want this person to be your president? So it's more like, are you blind to the things that have been going on, as opposed to, oh, I'm just going to scatter everything. Nobody's going to have peace. Like I don't think it's coming from the same place at all.
It's not. It's not. Taye, can I hear from you?
I do think that bullying generally is not all right, social media or physically in person, right? But it's not the same. Like thugs who bully you, they can break your head with a bottle.
Online, nobody is going to.
Have you seen what happens on the mainland when they smash your windshield and want to pick your phone, collect your phone, right? Like, it's different level. So
I have scars from it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. It's the proof of you have scars from it, and nobody even wants that. I'm actually I would say, first of all, I'm really, really sad about Banky's own loss, which was not even expected. Like, you guys, that one was a hurtful one because he actually puts in work, but it happens. Now, when I said this week has been a roller coaster, I'm sure you could absolutely relate. We didn't even get to talk about the girl's picture that kept appearing on our INEC polling results in some states. Loki, I really want to know who she is, though. I want to know who that girl is. Now, anyways, that's all we can take for today on this topic. The itch is knocking, and we'll get right into it after the break. Welcome back to the show, you guys. Now, the itchy itch is right now, and we're taking it outside of the continent to Chris Brown's concert, where some action happened, So let's check out the video before we get right into the discussion.
Look, she's on the phone again. Nah. She's actually irritating my life right now, I'm telling you. I'm gonna dash your phone. I'm really gonna dash your phone. Woo! She's annoyed.
Bye-bye to that phone. Now, I want to find out what could have possibly been going through the girl's mind, with her phone on constant. I kind of understand the, not being too invested in the craft, but I'm also looking at it from the artist's point of view, where he's like, I'm trying to create art right here, and you're messing up my whole show. So what do you think was going through her mind?
So Chris Brown's been on tour, right? And he's been doing this in different cities that he's gone to, and he bring out a fan to the stage. And I've seen how other people respond to this.
Okay.
In fact, I know how I would respond personally
please, can you
to this.
us?
I know that I would be a puddle on the floor. I'll just like this. I'll actually melt. I'll pass out. All of those things. But like, she just seems very uninterested. And it's like, why are you then there on the stage? Why, if you're not interested? Like, if he had called you on, you could have said, oh no, I don't want to go. I'm very with him flinging her phone because
I was going to ask that, was he in the wrong, from your point of view, Taye, was he in the wrong to, fling her phone like that?
He proposed, boys. What's wrong with you? I'm stressing my life, for God's sake.
Why is
after all the work.
After all the dance.
Come on. We're even lucky that Chris Brown is not Burna Boy.
That flung her from this
African giant style. Stop the music. Hey, get out of my show. Another person should come up here.
Okay, it has been absolutely crazy now. To every Nigerian that went out there to exercise their franchise. I mean, I like the break we just took with Chris Brown, but still, let's not forget we're still in this season now. So every Nigerian that went out there to exercise their franchise, you absolutely rock. To those of us who were disenfranchised, we go again. I was disenfranchised. It pained me. To every person out there every young person that took their stand for their future, our labor will not be in vain, and we're truly the leaders of tomorrow. DBEM, my people, while we look forward to the coming months and also to the governorship elections, make sure you let love lead. Until I see you next week, Yaga Zeri Guitar, have a nice day.